Hey everybody, what's going on? Time for another YouTube video. I'm stuck in my garage today because it is raining and windy. It's been one of the wettest summers up here in Southern Ontario that I remember in quite a few years. I mean, the last 3 years, I want to say we've had droughts, like month and a half long droughts every July into August and burnt the grass. And this year, the grass is giving me no break whatsoever, having to cut it every 4 or 5 days because it's been raining every couple days up here. Temperatures have been hot and cold, but the fishing's been great, which is usually typical for this time of year. We're talking ICAST products here, guys. So I'm going to talk about a new rod series that was just introduced. Going to play really well for the Northeast, Northwest, West Coast guys who fish salmon steelhead. But before I get into the details of this new product, do me a favor, click subscribe down below and click get notifications. That makes sure our videos get into your feed. And also, if you have a comment, leave one down below. If you have a question about the new product, or you have a comment about or experiences with stuff you've used, feel free. We'll help you out as best we can. We try to get to every comment in a timely fashion, but it has been a whirlwind of a summer so far. I mean, I have not been at home for a single weekend in almost 2 months now. So a few more events left to go, but we're excited for the home stretch, and I'm excited for fall fishing time. So let's move into the product. At ICAST 2023, which happened the first week or week and a half into July, we were down in Orlando, Florida, and Shimano dropped a whole bunch of new products, new redesigns, rods, reels, lures. But this one, it was really specifically going to be a Canadian and a Northwestern Pacific, Northeastern US, and Great Lakes area rod that's going to play really well. And that is the redesign of Compre Salmon Steelhead. So these are traditionally your longer rods that are designed for a number of techniques. Now, the rods themselves, new tapers, new actions on them. They look really great. They got a matte gray look with gold wrap and black on them. They're beautiful rods. But more importantly would be the models that they created for this series. So there are 4 casting models and 4 spinning models. There's also a center pin model. There's a float fishing model, which would be designed for a center pin reel or float fishing with spinning reel setup. There's 2 BC casting models and 2 BC mooching models. If you don't know what mooching is basically trolling with a single action reel. So, whether you're swinging spoons in BC or the Pacific Northwest and you want to use a Calcutta 400 or a Conquest or something along those lines, the BC casting rods will be designed for that. The float rods, the center pin rods, there's multiple models of both. Really well designed, balanced well. I had mine set up with a Islander steel header and it fit incredibly well. So let's get into the details of what all of these models entail. So the lengths range from 8'6" to 13 feet. Okay, so there is a ton. Whether you're fishing small streams or you need heavier rods for casting bigger stuff or bigger fish if you're trolling, they've got you covered. The powers range from light to heavy among the models, and the actions from slow to fast. When we talk rod actions are often misinterpreted for powers. Power, from light to heavy, is really in its truest sense, the definition of power is the amount of force it takes to move an object. So, the lighter the baits you're throwing, the smaller the fish you're fishing for, the lighter the power you can use. The heavier the baits or the heavier the fish or the heavier the current, the heavier the power of the rod you would use. Now, when we talk about actions from slow to fast, that is basically the taper or the bend in the rod. A slow action rod would bend parabolically from handle to tip. So that would be something they would do for their center pin or float rods, something that you're using smaller hooks and you lighter line, and you want that more parabolic lengthy rod to absorb a lot of the fish's head shakes, power runs, and jumps. The faster action rods are going to be more for casting, accuracy, and working baits. So swinging spoons, twitching jigs, stuff like that, the rods are going to have a faster action to them. So that means the rod will have more backbone further up the blank, and only the tip section would bend, and that really helps loading up casts and making them accurate and working baits. The guide train, Sea Guide Zirconia guide train. Now this guide train has a coating on it to help with corrosion resistance. and durability. All of the rods are two-piece models. So, whether you're, using the 8'6" or the 13, it's going to be easy to store these rods in your vehicle or in your boat. Not a problem there, all two-piece models. And they have cork handles and EVA foam with cork on specific models. So like the mooching rods, the BC casting and stuff like that, every different model will have a different handle configuration. All of the rods have either Shimano or Fuji reel seats, I believe, with the exception of the center pin rods, which have pack base sliding rings. That allows you to really position your float reel where you want on the blank. For myself, I like having my float reel, on the upper third of that long cork handle so that I have a lot of cork below the reel to rest my forearm on when I'm fighting the fish. Some people like them at the bottom so they can have two hands on the upper for pulling, and if they have a butt end on the rod, they can rest it inside their hip. So center pin models, all pack base sliding rings. Everything else they have, I believe it's either Shimano or custom or Fuji reel seats. The best part about this entire thing is the price. If you're looking to get into salmon steelhead fishing, you want to try it in the fall or get in on the spring run, or maybe you just need an additional setup. The best part is the MSRP is $99.99 US dollars for the entire series. So that is a really great thing. The Compre salmon steelhead rods have been, like I said, redesigned, price valued, great actions, great models that are going to cover especially a lot of that Northwest territory, but a lot of applicable stuff for here in Ontario, New York State, Ohio, Pennsylvania, all the states that have those salmon and steelhead runs. Michigan, great. Wisconsin, they're great stuff for everybody. So check them out if you get a chance. That is the new Compre salmon steelhead, $99.99. You can't go wrong. And like I said, casting, spinning, center pin float, BC mooching, and BC casting models. There you have it, guys. If you could do me a favor, click subscribe. I'm going to keep this one short and simple. Click subscribe down below. That makes sure our videos get into your feed. And also click get notifications. And then if you have any questions or comments, say you have a new technique, you want to try a VMC twitching jig, what model should I use? I can help you out with that. So leave a comment down below. We will get to it, whether it's pairing rods and reels with them, line pound tests, ratings, stuff like that. We will do our best to get to every single comment and help you guys out. And if you have any experiences with them, let us know down below. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're all staying safe. Most importantly, guys, I hope everybody's catching some fish, and I hope you get out and try these new Shimano Compre salmon steelhead rods this fall or spring. We'll talk to you soon. Everybody be good.